This is how I don't get sick, Harry. You big dummy. But when I do, when I do get a cold, it just knocks me to the ground like a sledgehammer. But that's very rare. Everybody's wondering about the tractor. I hadn't been able to get out here. It's been either raining, cold, or both. All kinds of things. I don't like the cold weather, and I ain't gonna work out here with that. But, oh, thank you. Supposed to get up to 60 today, but it's cold in the shop. Let me crank up Betsy, see what she's doing. Speed blasting time. Uh-oh. I got a hole I gotta deal with there. Dang it. I gotta go find the, let me get some duct tape. Tools out of my living room floor. 5 minutes putting the wrenches back in the drawer. It's well worth putting them back in that tray. Saves a lot of time when you're looking for something. Hose repaired again. I might as well get that tape out of there before I turn this on, huh? Dummy. Alright, let me get that thing took apart over there. What's all this business? I'm gonna have to hold this up either with this crane, which the heater's in the way. Let me figure out what I'm gonna do. Talked to Harry about an hour. He told me a very interesting story about that house over there I rented from Mr. Goss around probably 74, somewhere in there. I'll have to tell that story. Jim's cleaning out a place for something. And I gotta go get the cans. 30 minutes, finally got that off. That fan fought me every inch of the way. I've had it off before, but it didn't pan out this time. Alright, let me see if there's any markings on this motor. Alright, sidetrack. Going to go repair the shed. We need a broom and possibly the gutter bar. This weed eater works. It don't have a thing on the bottom to suck your shirt in like the other one, so we're going to use it. Here we go. Good job. Let's see what we can get done here. Got to go hunt a ladder down.
Really?
Cleaning off the roof, and I went over and stepped through in one little spot using the blower, and then I come back down and I stepped through again. So now I need some plywood. Called up Jerry. He's gonna bring me a piece. He said he got a piece over there, so waiting on Jerry to save today. Let's see if he's gonna make it. Dougie, here's another story, ghost story. We had rented a house a long time ago. We was over, I think it was Williams Road, and we rented that house from Mr. Goss. That's Harry's daddy. And I was outside working on a motorcycle and dirt bike, and I was, boy, yeah, I was wanting to get it going. I was going to go riding, and Kathy come running out of the house. We had a Polaroid camera, and she says, look at this, and I looked at her, yeah, okay. So I went back to work on it. She said, no, look at this right here close. So I looked at the picture. She had took a picture of my daughter Dharma. She's a little kid there standing beside the sofa, and coming out of the sofa arm was a picture of a ghost. It was half blurred and half not. It had something blue on him, and it had brown curly hair. And that picture was stolen. I had blowed up of it, and several pictures. It was all stolen over on Rockbridge Road. Anyway, Harry called me a few minutes ago, and he was telling me about the man who lived in that house before I got there. He said he's told me before. Well, if he did, I don't remember. But he told me that the man was changing the transmission, and he had the car jacked up with bumper jacks. And all of a sudden that car fell on him and killed him. There's brains and blood and everything and all that. I don't remember him ever telling me that story, but that's very interesting. I never did know that, and if I did, I forgot. That's another one of them stories. And after that, Kathy wouldn't stay in that house no more. held up on that. That may be tomorrow. Let me get back on this. I was so determined to paint this, and now I cost myself some money. That shaft on that motor is bent. Drag the vacuum back over here to do that. Alright, fire in the hole. Pretty clean until I take it out. Always be some spot you missed. When you get it out of there, you'll see it. This is what I'm going to cry about. Yes, Harry. There's no way this would have bent unless they used a mill steel. You can get a mill steel. You can even get mild steel, a mill steel. It's much easier to machine. And that whole little old motor there is very, very heavy. Cast iron on the end of it. So I'm looking at some big bucks there, oh buddy. No time for prime. So to keep that from rusting overnight, I'm gonna leave that light bulb in there. I could use the top light on, but that I've never replaced that bulb out of all these shop lights here. That's never been replaced. So I'll keep it off and keep that light bulb on. Okay. Angle. I think Harry said that man's name that was under that car was Mr. Brown. I sure don't remember that story. But he said he'd come over and show me right where the spot was. The car fell on him. Yeah, I forgot to say, Harry said he had the two front wheels off, so that when that car come down, it went down extra flat. That makes a big difference. And no, you don't crawl up under a car with bumper jacks.
We were sitting here talking about when I used to work down there at the Valvoline in Lawrenceville, and I was remembering back there, them people, they was just slack. I mean, there's no way in the world I would ever bring a car down there, or at least, or even have any of my friends want to bring a car down there. They were, you know, not the greatest kind of employees working there. A lot of times when they couldn't get the oil filter off, they'd just leave it on. Seen one car actually drive in there, and they said all clear, you know, clear for oil, whatever, and the guy put the oil in, and I don't know where the other guy was down there in the pit, but that woman or man, I forget who it was, they drove off. Trail of oil through there. They didn't put the plug back in. They didn't do anything. Nobody said anything, you know. They were just, you know, all looking around. Well, I hope they don't come back. Never did see that, whoever that was, come back.
And you only had a few minutes to change the oil. You had to do it hot.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Always getting the crap burn out of you. You had to dump that oil quick. And when the big old truck pulls in there that's been traveling all day and night, oh yeah. Yeah, you get scalded. Never did see any bottles of oil there. Not ever. We always used the ones on top, you know, they always used a gun. Little old gun with a hose hooked to it. I'm pretty sure they were recycling the oil. All the oil we'd dumped down from the bottoms of the cars, I'm pretty sure went right into that reservoir underneath us there. And there was one. And I think it just run through a filter and they put it right back in all the other cars that come through. Except for one time now, the boss man come through there, the actual owner of that place. I seen them get a thing of oil out of the office and bring it over there, and we put that couple of things of oil in his car there. I did see that.
That'd be more than a couple.
Well, however many it took, that's what we used there. We actually used real oil out of a bottle in his fancy car. And they told us to make sure now you get that filter off now. You change that filter. Because most of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, the filter's not getting changed. Take a rag and you wipe around the filter and make it look kind of new. Just real quick, because you only got 3 minutes, you know. And that's how it rolled most of the time. So everybody going in there is getting what you would call screwed. Well, anyway, the end. We're on our way back.
Huh? Groovy.